Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Mail. So for today, I'm going to read 2 different emails sent from subscribers dealing with the subject of self-improvement. And the main story is about a guy who's done a great job of turning his life around, in particular with weight loss, after witnessing a number of people die in a short period of time. One in particular, who was only 29 years old, cardiac arrest after obviously being very, very big. And this guy has done a great job of that. And that'd be a great one to make the point, guys, that if you want to make a major change, you can do it. But you have to make a commitment. You got to sacrifice your time and other things, short-term things, to get where we want to be. But it can be done. And the first story I'm going to cover here, before the main story, is short, but it's about a guy who's talking about a coworker who does nothing but talk about how he's going to lose weight, wants to lose weight, and yet 3 years later, he hasn't done anything. It makes nothing but excuses. And it's an example of what not to do, but it's also an example of most people. Most people in life they claim they want things in their life to be better, and yet they're too unwilling and too lazy and weak to actually take action and get off their butts and make it happen. And don't be like them. And also, I suggest, don't spend time with people like that, because they can wear you down and be jealous of you when you're trying to make something of yourself and try to bring you down. It happens all the time. But anyhow, this story here really is a good one about our guy here, the main story, about what can be done, and he's on his path. But before I get into it, real quick, guys, if you haven't done so already, come join me over on Patreon or Locals. I'm building the men's community over there. Us scumbags and hooligans and lowlights over there, we're having a great time. You can come over and join as a free member, 100% free, and see what we're all about, or you become a paying supporter and get access to all the good stuff over there. So far it's been 2 weeks. A lot of guys have signed up. We're having a good time. Come by, check it out. And I will post a link in the top of the comment section and description. So the first one starts off, says, "Hello SSM. This is very brief, so you may not be able to use it, but I wanted to share. I was inspired to type this by the story you just posted about the guy ditching his friend who put up with a lot of BS from his wife. So this probably happened 2 months ago. I'm at work, and I'm talking to a colleague, let us call him Mike. I forget what we were talking about, maybe restaurants, and another coworker, John, comes by and interrupts. Before I get into this, let me just say that John has been banging on for 2 to 3 years about losing weight. And that what he has done to help the process, well, recently he said he ate at McDonald's, so that should give you the answer. The man is on paternity leave and hasn't exercised nor started dieting. I only take issue with this because I'm tired of hearing him go on and on about while doing nothing. Well, again, that's most people. Most people will talk about things they got to do, accomplish, complain, but they never actually take any action and never get anywhere. That's most people. And the worst thing is people like that resent others that actually have success. Anyway, John interrupts and says, I ate Wendy's yesterday because my wife made me. He told me he had started making something for dinner, and how far through the process, I don't know. I suggested that no one was forcing him to eat at Wendy's, and he could have continued making the food that he was working on, and his response was, then she'd get mad. And my response was, so? Right there, blaming his wife. Maybe his wife probably would get mad. Again, that sounds like most marriages. She's probably trying to fatten him up so nobody would be interested in him. But regardless, would you guys, if you were cooking a meal, you're grilling, you're doing whatever, and your wife says, nah, I want to go to Wendy's. Are you going to stop grilling or stop your meal? No. No, honey, you're going to sit here, you're going to have this dinner I'm preparing for you. Both co-workers gave this response like, he's not married, he doesn't understand, with Mike even uttering the cliche phrase, happy life, happy wife. Oh my God, or happy wife, happy life. See, most guys. I then asked Mike just how happy he is, to which he informed me that he's only happy when he lays down to go to sleep at night because there's no more complaining. Well, yeah, smack to Mike and smack to John, to all the P-Whip guys out there. I just shook my head and said, okay, if that's the life you two want, okay, and I left it at that. I remember an even better cliche, never reason with a drunk or a fool. Or never argue with a drunk or a fool. With John, I did send him a video he did about a month ago, and he responded with, I'll look at it, but I'll have to be careful. Smack, P-Whip jackass. Guys like that need my work, but guys like that are too scared to make any changes in their lives. Anyway, I love your channels. I guess if I had to question, it'd be, what do I say to John to get him to shut the F up about weight loss when he isn't going to do anything? Other than that, thank you for what I've learned on your channels over the years. I've been watching since the fall of 2020. Well, bro, I appreciate you watching, and I appreciate you not falling into the trap like the other guys. And what do you say to your coworker John about him going on about losing weight but doesn't do anything? You do what you just said. Tell him to shut the F up. End of story. Say, bro, we're coworkers, we're cool and all, but I'm tired of hearing about you wanting to lose weight and never do anything. End of story. You make nothing but excuses. If you want to lose weight, then you'll take action. You'll start eating better, regardless of what your wife says. You'll join a gym. You'll make time. But gentlemen, this is why, right here, why most people don't succeed in anything in life at all that they complain about. They complain about their job. They're not getting paid enough or how they're treated, and yet they're too chicken to go out there and find something else, okay? You can work at your job while looking for something else. They complain they're overweight, but they're too lazy to get off their butts and make the sacrifices of their time to join a gym and learn how to properly exercise and go there consistently and lift weights and all that. They're too lazy to actually get decent food, learn how to cook. But they can scroll on their phone for hours a day, but yet they claim they have no time to learn how to cook. Really? YouTube is full of good videos. TikTok, Instagram Reels, and how to cook something, basic stuff. And I can go on and on and on about things people complain about in their lives, and they aren't willing to take any action. But usually it takes some serious things to get people off their butts to take action, which is, I'm going to go into the second story here, where our guy is handling things great on major self-improvement, particularly weight loss, after seeing a few people he cared about die, one in particular, because of being morbidly obese, I think, and causing cardiac arrest. So this guy says here, the guy who I like, in this story says, "Hi SSM. I read a few stories that you've submitted in the past about my older brother's wife leaving him and taking the kids while he was at work, and also him just constantly doing stupid things. Not sure if you remember, but yeah, I'm that younger brother." Well, brother, I wish I could remember, but unfortunately I don't. I get a lot of stories about guys and their older brothers, younger brothers, and things that happen to them and stuff like that, but I hope your brother is doing better now. It's a shame what happened. I want to thank you for your hard work in talking about how your content has helped change my life. So here are some different events I have been through these past few years, leading up to where I am right now at the age of 32. Part 1 of your helpful advice pertained to my life, as I took your advice when it came to a girl I used to be close with. Aha! Very good. Yeah, we get two things. We get his weight loss journey, and him stopping the BS from this girl. She is a singer, has quite a following here in New York. You can call her T or whatever floats your boat. I ain't calling her T. We'll call her Teresa. I met her at a show years ago because my brother used to write a lot of music and would rap on stage. He actually had a lot of talent and potential. He performed with her, and our dad introduced me to her. We kept in touch, and I used to like her. A few years ago, she used to talk about the guys she would date who were jerks to her, and yet she still dated them. Well, of course, that's what they do. And she's a singer. Probably the only guys that actually will talk to her or have the balls to flirt with her, chat with her, and hit her up are probably the bad boys and jerks. And yet she'll still stay with them. But any guy that actually treats her like a human being, nah, not interested. And oh yeah, by the way, smack to you or past you for being that nice guy friend who would listen to all her problems about her boyfriends who treat her like crap. You were no doubt thinking that if I just show her how much of a good guy I am and listen to all her problems, then she'll wake up and go for me. Doesn't work that way. This is why you never feel bad for them. And this is also why you don't be that guy that listens to all their problems. I was an idiot and thought maybe I had a chance of her seeing me as more than friends, despite that I've known her for 10 years at this point in 2023. But after 2 years of dating the same guy she complained to me about, she did something stupid and agreed to marry him when he proposed only after dating her for 2 years. Yeah, there you go. Endless complaints, and yet she married him. And she wasn't with you. I guess because she was 27 years old at this point, she just wanted to get married before 30, so she agreed. Hear that, guys? Big 30 scares them all. They rush to the altar. Also, she would tend to go months without talking to me before I heard from her again and claim that she's been so busy, yet would have no problem hanging out with her other friends. After a while, I decided I was done and cut her off from my life. Well, that's good. You had the hots for her. She wasn't interested. Was using you for all your to to complain to and whine to and all that, but no doubt was never there for you. That's not a friend. And you didn't want to be friends with her anyway. You wanted to get in those rock star panties of hers. I told her one day that I don't hate her, but that I'm cutting ties with her because I don't think she actually cares about me, despite her saying that she loves me a lot. You don't ignore somebody for months and claim you care about that person. Thank you. Exactly. It's all about people's actions. I never spoke to her again because I refused to be treated that way and continued being her emotional tampon. I was going through some horrible depression from a job at the time that was ruining my life, and yet despite that I was there for her with a lot of her problems, she couldn't even be bothered to do the same for me, so I think I did the right thing. You did do the right thing, man. Good for you. And that should be that way with anybody, guys or gals. If you're a good friend to somebody and you're always there for them, and then they can never be bothered to be there for you, why waste your time? It's all about people's actions. And she showed you right then and there how little you meant to her. That sucks, but it's a learning experience. And you've been watching the channel, you know darn well this is what happens to a lot of guys out there. So don't be that guy, gentlemen. Don't be that guy that they just talk to all their problems about everything. A girl starts unloading. If you don't care, like say you're at a party, you're out with friends, and you talk to some girl you're acquainted with and you have no interest in her, and maybe she might talk briefly about something, you can just laugh it off, and then that's that. But anything beyond that, where she's actually one-on-oneing with you, talking to you, just the two of you out somewhere, or wants to get together to talk about other guys, or calls you to talk about other guys, don't even do that. She sees you nothing more than a friend, a therapist. Tell her she can go hire a therapist. You're not interested. In fact, by you acting that way, she might interpret it as being a jerk, and she might suddenly be attracted to you. Isn't that amazing? Now we're going to get to the main part about his self-improvement thing and what led him down that path. Part 2 is pretty tragic. I'm close with a friend named Jay, who I met from one of my old jobs years ago. She and her family have treated me like family, and we are still close to this day. Her husband and their kids all love me when I'm around. Jay sadly lost her brother on Memorial Day weekend 2 years ago after suffering cardiac arrest for not taking care of himself. Wow, that's terrible. And that was Jay. I gotta call her Jenna. Jenna it is. I'm not doing this Jay shit. Another female friend. Now, I'm assuming that Jenna you weren't interested in, so you had a fine friendship with. Okay, whatever. Frankly, I don't waste my time, but that's your business. But you're cool with the husband and all that. But I know the husband's cool with her having a guy friend she's buddies with, but that's your business. Her brother was several times the size I used to be. Was about to marry his girlfriend in 10 years, and then he died. He was a very down-to-earth guy, and it was terrible. Only 29 years old, and he was just gone like that. I felt like I lost a brother. That sucks, man. Once you start to get to your 30s, when you start seeing people that you care about pass away, it wakes you up. But somebody's 29 years old, so young, and he obviously died because he was obviously morbidly obese, cardiac arrest. This, once again, shatters the whole body positivity nonsense that you can be fat and obese and it doesn't matter. Everybody blah, 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 blah. You all heard this. How about all the health problems that come from that? Right there, early death. Tony, who had died, he and my friend Jenna's dad, months later in 2024, had also suddenly dropped dead one day in the same year Tony had died. So first the younger brother, Tony, dies, cardiac arrest, horribly overweight, and then your friend Jenna's father, who dies as well. That's 2. Yeah, man, that's terrible. Needless to say, 2024 was one of the worst years of my life with these deaths. He died of a heart attack too, same as his son from a few months before. Fast forward to January 2025, I was hanging out at a friend's house after work one day, and all of a sudden my car was on fire as we waited for the fire department to come put it out. The fire spread to my friend's lawn and parts are flying all around the area. What the hell, man? My car easily could have done this with me in it, and I could have died. God definitely was watching out for me. Indeed. For almost 2 months, I couldn't sleep unless I was extremely drunk, and people around me were concerned about me becoming an alcoholic. I was mentally messed up from just everything for so long, especially with the fact that my car burst into flames so close to me. Fast forward to July last year, the same week that Ozzy died, and another close friend of mine died. Another close friend of mine had lost his dad. He fell and hit his head so hard, and 2 days later, after Ozzy had died, my friend's dad had died, as well as Hulk Hogan. So these are all your friends, your friend's brother who you're friends with, and her dad. Now, this other friend's dad died, all people you knew. Yeah, this shit can really bring you down. We remember when Ozzy and the Hulk died in a short period of time here. Needless to say, rough week, blah, blah, blah. My friend's dad was one of those cool dads who knows how to bring a lot of energy into the house and just make everybody laugh. He was a great guy, too. Well, starting in 2026, and this is still ongoing, I've been on a fitness journey for myself because you always talk about self-improvement and fitness. Good for you, man. Good for you. I'm sure it was a giant wake-up call when your friend's brother died of cardiac arrest for being obviously morbidly obese at 29 years old. I took those words to heart. I started working out almost every day, cutting out the alcohol, the carbs, the sweets, started intermittent fasting, drinking a lot of water, working out, and started taking the right supplements. I also started going to Crunch Fitness that opened by my house when it opened on June 2nd. When I started at the beginning of the year, I was in my upper 280s at the time, and as of July 2nd this year, when I last weighed myself, I'm now 226 pounds. Brother, that is awesome. 6 months and you've gone like, give or take 60 pounds, 10 pounds a month. That's fantastic. Not to mention you're lifting, so you're putting on muscle. That's great, man. I'm glad you it's terrible about your friends and all that, and particularly the one that was 29, but I'm glad obviously you saw what happened and said, that ain't going to be me. The power was within you. Unlike the guy in the first story, he's talking about his coworker who just keeps making excuses. You're taking action. I started building muscles everywhere. I've gotten so much faster, stronger, and no matter what time I wake up at, I'm still full of energy throughout the day. I can now lift heavy weight, and that I'd never been able to use to lift. I went from a size 3 extra large to a size large in just a few months, and I think soon enough I'll be a size medium. Brother, that is awesome, because you decide one day I'm going to get off my ass and take action. I'm going to sacrifice my time from things I like to normally do to go to the gym. I'm going to eat better, even though the pizza and the cheeseburgers and fried chicken taste good. I'm going to start eating better. This is what happens when you make a choice. Everybody can do it. You told us to us fellow men that no matter what the world throws at us, we have to keep moving and keep pushing. I did just that, and a lot of it is because of your channels, and also, I don't want to end up dying at a young age like my friend Tony did. Right. Remember this. You're doing it for Tony. And bro, I'm so glad that myself and the channel and the community has helped you, but at the end of the day, you made the choice to do this. So bravo. I promised his sister that I wouldn't let the same thing happen to me. So I live now with the insight I got from his tragic death. It made me realize I need to stop a lot of things and need a serious change. Amen. I'm going to be a lot more accomplished with my goals when I lose another 40 pounds, and then I'll primarily focus on maintaining and building muscle more than weight loss, though currently I'm doing both. By the way, some grilled chicken for lunch every day is one of the healthiest things you can do with weight loss goals. I do it every day and have an apple and orange with me, and it has helped me a lot this whole time. Brother, I've grilled chicken almost every day. I go to this great place down the street, this health food store. You can get fresh white chicken meat, obviously grilled. It's all prepared. I always buy it like 4 days before the expiration date, and I have that every freaking day with brown rice or vegetables, stuff like that, whole grain brown rice. Yeah, best thing you can do. My experiences from these past few years show that no matter what you need to be strong and get through life. To any of my fellow gents out there trying to get healthy, it can be done, but you need serious discipline and patience. Yes. Now, it's going to be leaps and bounds in terms of weight loss. Remember that, guys. And success in getting bigger in a positive way, bigger muscles, stronger, all that. You got to lift heavy, but in a safe way, progressive overload, consistency, adequate rest, that right fuel, good foods, and time and patience. I humbly thank you, SSM, and the strong community you built. Also, I've been stronger with my Christian faith after everything that I've been through recently. I started going regularly to church last year, and it's helped my mind out a lot and has influenced my decisions on things in general. Have a great day, and God bless all of you. By the way, hope you had a great Independence Day weekend, SSM. Thank you, bro. I did have a great Independence Day. That's why I've been on YouTube for the last couple of days. I took a long weekend. I needed it. But I won't be going any vacations until September. I'm going out to New Mexico for a week, checking out Albuquerque, Santa Fe, some national parks, state parks, national parks, lots of parks and all that. But for the next 2 months, I'll be on the grind. So, brother, congratulations. Good job for you. I'm so proud of you. Now, the next 40 pounds will be more challenging to lose than the first 60. I'm telling you that right now. But don't give up. Keep moving forward. Keep pressing. Keep your goal in mind. Be patient, and you're going to get where you want to be. And again, I'm sorry about your friends and the fathers that you knew and everything like that. That's rough. But unfortunately, that is life. People pass away. But you can take what your young friend, what happened to him, by changing your life, and you're doing that, and just stick to the maintenance. And as you've been reaching these goals, soon you're going to have new goals in life, probably like a better paying job, or moving to a different part of the state or country if you want something better in terms of where you live, and all these other things, because success becomes addictive. So good for you. So for all you guys out there that have goals, that want to improve yourself, you have to make the choice. You're going to do it. You got to set the goals and make the sacrifice to your time to make it happen. End of story. And stick to it. And I just have no patience now, and definitely when I was a personal trainer, for people that talk the talk, gotta lose weight, gotta do this, I'm gonna do this, and years pass by, they haven't done shit. But we got a whole world of people like that, and beware of those people, guys, because they will bring you down. Because when you're trying to improve yourself, they're gonna shit on you for you taking the time to make things happen, because they're too lazy to get off their big butts to do it, and they're jealous of you. So beware of those people in your circle. So anyhow, the first story is an example of what most people are like. Don't be like that. And the second story is from a guy who saw tragedy, turned things around. Good for you, brother. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.